Hello, my name's Brooke, and today I'm going to show how to break down a whole chicken into 8 pieces. So the tools we'll need today is a cutting board, I like the flexible ones, a large knife to go through the breastbone, kitchen shears to go through the ribs, and a boning knife, which we'll be using most of the time. Okay, and a plate with the lid so your juices don't run everywhere. So here's a chicken. I've removed it from the bag and also remove the giblets. Most of the time it should come with a neck, a heart, gizzards, and a liver, but for some reason I only got my neck and my liver, which both will go in the stock pot later. So let's get started. This is the wings. You get 2. Here are the legs. You'll also have thigh meat underneath and the breast. So to get started, I like to go ahead and remove the dark meat, which is the leg and the thigh. So to get started, you're going to cut through the skin. And when you do, you'll go into this cavity. So when you do, I like to pick it up and actually break it. And what I just did, I popped the bone from the thigh from the back. And after that, you're able to use the weight of the bird itself, and you cut right through. So you cut right through. So here is the leg and the thigh. I'm going to set that over for now because I'm going to go ahead and cut the other side. So you go right through again. And again, you're going to pick it up and you're going to pop it. And it pops the thigh bone out from the back. And that is where you're going to cut down. And I flip the bird around. And you come around. There's a little piece of meat that's attached to the back. A lot of people call it the oyster. And if you can get that attached to your thigh, that will be great. And then you're just going to go through and release it. Okay, keeping your fingers out of the way. So, what I have here, I have 2 legs with 2 thighs. And I'm going to separate that, so I'm going to flip it over. And if you can see, there is a ridge of fat that runs the length of the thigh and the leg. And I'm actually going to use the big knife, and I'm going to cut right through there. And when I do, I get 2 pieces. So I get the leg and a thigh. So I'm going to do that again. Set that knife out of the way. And again, at that the fat line, I'm just going to cut right down there, getting my fingers out of the way, and just go straight across. So again, I have thigh and a leg. So those are your dark meats. If you were to order out of a restaurant and you ordered a quarter of a chicken dark, you would get 1 thigh and 1 leg. So we flip it back over, we flip our bird back over. Now we have the breast and the wings. This is your white meat. So if you were to order white meat at a restaurant, a quarter of a bird, you would get 1 breast and 1 wing. So we're going to separate the wings. So I like to use my thinner knife, and I actually first will pop it. Sometimes it'll pop, sometimes it won't. And we're going to go and find the joint, and sometimes it pops out and it's easy, there it goes. And sometimes it's harder, and you just got to go back and forth until you get it attached. Now if you're frying a wing, you're best to flip that little tip up over, and when you do, it condenses all the meat into one, where you're not going to burn anything. It'll all cook together. So we're going to set that over here. We're going to later break down, I'm going to break down that wing even further, so if you were making hot wings. So go in again, and I'm going to go around till I get that joint exposed. Sometimes it shows itself. There it goes. It's that joint head right there. You'll actually want to go right under and go. So again, we're gonna flip it into one little wing. Okay, so here we go. This is the breast and the back. I save the back for stock. I usually put it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer. When I get 2 or 3, then I make me a pot of stock. So this is where my chicken shears or my kitchen shears will come in. I'm gonna cut through the ribs, and then when I get to like the wishbone area, I'll have to pop it out. So it doesn't sound pretty, but that's what I needed it to happen. So there's one side. Flip it over. And I'm left-handed, and these shears are not. So, okay, so I've cut up all the way, and I just break it and pull it. So there you go. That's the back. It's got a little meat on it. The more you do, the more meat you'll get off on your, that would have been the thigh meat. So I'm gonna set that here. All this is part of my stock. So now I have 2 chicken breasts. I like to, there's a piece of cartilage that runs pretty much the length down the middle of both breasts. I like to keep that attached to my thigh or my breast meat. I fry, whenever I cook whole chickens, I usually fry them, and I like that bone to be against that meat. So there's like a little Y, and that's what the wishbone used to be. And I'm going to cut and go even, keep my fingers out of it, and go straight down. And when I do, I try to keep the skin on. Okay, so now we have a breast and another breast. So we have 2 breasts. So if you're going to fry, you've now got your 8 pieces. Here's your thighs, here's your legs, and here's your wings. And you're good. You have it. Now your breast meat's fairly large. If you wanted to break this down further to 10 pieces, you could take your bigger knife and actually go diagonal. And that way you break down the breast into 2 more pieces, so you'll have a total of 4. I don't like to do that. I like to keep it whole. It's just my preference. Okay, so you have your legs. I'll get those out of the way. And your thighs. And your wings and your breasts. So I'm going to move the breasts out of the way for now. If you wanted to not cook your wings and just save them all up till you had enough to make like hot wings, this is how you break down a wing for hot wings. So this little tidbit right here, you don't need that. That can be part of your stock again. So there's a joint. If you make all your cuts at joints, they're not as hard. I'm going to use the big knife. So, right down. So that goes to the stock. And then you have a wing like this. So I like to take my knife and go straight up to break that skin. And then you will pop, and when you bring it in like this, you're popping the joint. So I go down to expose, and then I go straight down. So there you go. You've got your drumette or your drummy. It looks like a little leg, and then you got your flapper. So you get 2 out of 1. So if I did that again, I would have 4 wings for hot wings. So okay, so here's a breast, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off the bone. So first I'm going to take the skin off. That's easy. So you just so there you go. Now you have a skinless chicken breast, and you can bake this anything that you want. I'm actually going to take it off the bone. So there's a bone here, and I'm going to go down and just go right against it. And it will, when you get to a certain point, it'll just lay right back and release. And you go all the way. As you can see, if you leave the bone when you fry, it seals the meat and keeps it fairly like moist for you. But okay, so I've separated the breastbone and the ribs from the meat. So now we have a boneless, skinless chicken breast. Well, if you flip it over, there's the tender right here, and it's barely attached. You can literally just pull it off. And that's the tender. So when you order chicken tenders out, you actually get the tender, or the tender meat from the breast. So that's what a tender looks like. So here's a chicken breast. I like to go a step further because normally when I go to cut up a chicken, it's quite large. I like to fillet it open and butterfly it. So what I do is the part that almost looks like a spine of a book, it's flatter and wider. I start on that. I take my knife, and I'm actually going to wipe my hands and my knife clean. And I'm going to go lay it flat, and you just go open it like a book, like you're filleting. Open a book right in the middle. And you just open, keep it even, and you just open. And what happens is it opens it up. So now we have taken that, or I've taken that chicken breast and opened it up. And this would cook faster on the grill. It would cook fast enough where it would cook completely done without drying out. Or you can make 2 lobes and go ahead and finish the cut. And now you have 2 roughly 3-ounce pieces of chicken that you could season it and throw it on an electric grill. In probably 5 minutes it would be completely done. So those are your chicken's breast into right portions. So that ends my video. We took a whole chicken, we broke it down to 8 pieces plus the back. We broke down the wing to 2 pieces for hot wings, and we broke down the breast. We deskinned it, deboned it, removed the tender, filleted open to butterfly, and then we actually separate those 2 pieces. So that is my video, and that is how you break down a whole chicken.